But yeah, so Lothar, here we are. We're just about to jump into the game, and here we go. Look, we're zooming in. Get me in that game, because Ascent is about to start here. It's the second map of Raise Your Edge versus RixGG after a 13-11 on the previous. A huge comeback by Rix, and now they're on a map where they look pretty comfortable, but Raise Your Edge have got a 91% win rate. That's pretty good, but not versus the best teams out there. Lothar, what are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling that Reyna, if Kyle shows up, you know, I actually do feel that in a high level competitive play, the Reyna right now is very scary. Way more scarier than she was before. Because of the assists change, she is way more consistent. A consistent Reyna is the worst nightmare, right? Because, you know, she can always pop off, but if she doesn't pop off, then she's not a problem. Here, when she's more consistent and she's, you know, consistently getting healed and so on, that's gonna be a pain in the bottom. But now let's just focus on the execute on B. They have a lot of time to get that plant.
Yeah, they do. They're gonna look. Oh, hold on. There's a dash from Jet, baits them into a fight, but it's one that they win. Autumn and RCK from the backside doing some damage. There's still some more pushing their way on through. Latex, though, comes up behind, catches himself. A CNED that should be completely dead to rights at this point, and indeed he is. Even after a 3K, he needed the ace to win that one out. 1-0 as Rix, they fly into the lead to start this one off. Although they did the same on the previous map. They went 2-0 up, and then they had to take the lead back off their opponents at 11-11.
But this time they are actually setting on defense, and their defense seems to be working for them pretty well. And you know, they're going off from a strong comeback, which is affecting for sure Raise Your Edge mental game. Like, you just lost a game where you were 9-3 up, right? And you lost the pistol round in the next match, in the next map. Like, this is gonna affect you. So I feel like Rix is super happy right now, even if, you know, because of the start on the defense. And I liked how they baited the entire team from Raise Your Edge to just go into that B side and allow them to get it, because that was a pincer movement coming from Rix. And now look at that, the stack on A. They read them so well.
Yeah, but there's so much information coming RCK's way. He gets himself a free kill, even a second, almost on for 3. Really nice work with the Ghost. You can afford to play a little looser. CNED, he thinks he's an octopus. He's trying to dash out of there, not a chance. And a 3 versus 1, all down to Bone Cold Steve. I don't know if his name is Steve, but he's dead anyway, so it doesn't matter. 2-0 as Rix continue on, as you'd expect, taking that win.
I was waiting for an ink to like pop out from CNED here.
It really does give me like squid or octopus vibes, you know?
It has that kind of movement, like when the, you know, when they did just make this waving kind of movement.
Dash. Yeah. I'd call their thing a dash as well, so it kind of fits.
But hey, this is actually pretty good round from Riggs. The reads are on point. How do they do that? Like, did they prepare? Is Raise Your Edge just playing very predictably how they played the previous games on you know, against other teams? They got that info. We'll see now. Look, 3 players on A. Cypher still standing his ground on A. 5 people preparing for the execute. CNED goes in and loses the duel.
That's a tragic loss. The flash on the right side, and Autumn even got another kill. He was already aiming at his head coming around the corner. Excellent work as a 2-man advantage now sits in play for RixGG. Getting onto this site seems next to impossible, and atop a wall, Sage was above the smoke as she pushes out. Well, she at least got 1 kill. That's probably a win in that situation, but
I don't perceive it as a win. It was 1v4. She had a Vandal. Her opponents have Spectres. So you want to give that the Vandal, or you would like to save it? They did save with 4 people. Why not save here, right?
True. Very true. I guess they don't want to offset the economy, but I don't think it would have had that much impact. In fact, you already had a lot of money in play for Sage. So yeah, I 100% agree. Saving would also definitely give you either the weapon or a better chance of finding kills, because you can actually catch them off if they do come to hunt you, and if they don't, well, then you save the weapon. So it's a win-win.
And they will come to hunt you because they had inferior weapons. Very cool cage. Fourth Ray here. Oh, that is so cool. He plays around that eye. Oh, never mind. The cage is ended. There's a control of sight.
Oh, but look, as they come out the smoke, they're not ready. CNED gets a trade eventually, but it is that. A player lost as RYE take down the site and get a spike plant, but they lose another player. The flanker coming through middle. It's the Sage from the previous round looking to get a revenge. They're buying time as much as they can. Paranoia goes out to buy that angle, but it actually caught Sage. They blinded their own teammate, and they may just have sealed a death warrant. Signed, sealed, and delivered. CNED now has to ace it, and it's not going to happen. That is tragic, Lothar. The Paranoia was great to delay the push onto site, but when it blinds your Sage, you're kind of doing more harm than good.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I'm not sure if it miscommunication or just misstep from Starkster to go into that Paranoia. Maybe he should have just waited out a little bit. Kind of hard to say, right? Because it's not also a usual thing that you practice. This is an impromptu, quick from off the feet thinking that you have to do in Valorant sometimes. And when you're not prepared for that, well, things like this can happen. You cannot blame anyone here for this. It was a valiant effort, but unfortunately didn't pay off. And this is creepy.
Just staring at it. It's a nice little spike you have there. You gonna plant it? Plant it in the boathouse? Okay. But luckily he doesn't give info.
This is such a tough match for RYE. 0-4 right now on the attack, on ascent. I mean, you can't really expect to be super... He didn't get it. Okay. You can't expect to be super effective on the attacking side on ascent, but 4-0 is really disheartening after that previous match. So this is not looking good for RYE mental game, that's for sure. And maybe because of that, we've seen those kind of weird mistakes, something that we like double guess, right? Maybe they just a little bit tilted. Who knows?
You will not kill my ally.
Oh, there's the res coming through after the early pick that we saw on that. Excuse me, sorry. CNED bone cold, doesn't matter because Autumn's coming in and damaging this push. The problem is you've already got a res. You committed so much to this round. Walking into an op doesn't increase your chances. Luzza, the former endpoint player over in Counter-Strike, showing that it doesn't matter what game it is, whether it's the op or the OP, this man is OP with that weapon in hand, and a 1 versus 4 in the hands of Stark. So we'll see what he can do with it. Well, not a lot if he got spotted by that just a second later, and that would have been perfect. He walks out mid, and that false information that it's clear might actually net Starzo a favorable duel. He comes around the corner, and even the jump scare isn't enough to deter Autumn from picking up 4. A 5th round on the board now for Rix. And again, RYE, you know, they've lost a lot of rounds in a row if you take the previous map into consideration.
Yeah, and you know what's even the worst aspect of this round? Autumn got fed. He literally, it was such a cool play. Autumn was waiting for the res. He knew it's gonna happen, right? They lost one guy. He was kind of in a cover, so they can res him and then push out because they need to save the guy from being killed after the res. And this is when he used the ultimate to just push them. And after he gets the 1 kill, he gets back to his pizza pocket and just gets a double kill after that. Now he is 3 out of 6 on the next ultimate, which is so impactful in this game. It's insane. He is being fed.
Looking to be a faster play here. The slow for Heaven I really like as they push out to the site. 2 players in the back, and CNED, he looks for them and he just might get them, but no, Latex, he's in there quickly. They know Frey is down below and isolate the duel. The trades looking to be brought back, but RYE, they're doing quite well on this one. A stinger from above. Well, it'll certainly sting if they lose this round. Starzo now all alone. He tries to create the space and finds a better weapon, but doesn't know where both of these players are. They know Sova's above in Heaven, but he has to be worried about Jet coming behind. At this point, he's just going to run away, look to try and force the fight, and, well, leave A altogether. At least that's what he wants to tell the others. Oh, nice angle here if they do push forward, but they're not sold on this being a B hit just yet, and right into the op he goes. Luzza showing his proficiency with scoped weapons yet again, 6-0. This is a tragic start. I mean, they need to get on the board soon. It's starting to slip away.
Yeah, this is not looking good, and CNED failing to get that first blood after a good execute actually on site. They got a lot of info. Cypher was tagged underneath Heaven, and then he just didn't get the kill, which is pretty bad because he is on the upper side of the generator, so he only sees the feet. He can shoot it, but he doesn't get the same amount of damage that his opponent will do on him, right? Because he will see almost entire like silhouette of the Jet standing there. But the other way around, it's a little bit awkward. You're gonna have to shoot like through the wall, and you have your inferior gun. It's pretty awkward. But what is even more like unlucky is that Starkster really tried to fake that he goes to B, but I feel like the only way of you doing that, you have to make noise that you actually fall down and then go back up. Otherwise, the people will not like just even try to rotate.
I did also like even though Frey got the initial kill under Heaven, they dealt with him really nicely. And talking of dealing with people, Luzza, he's been dealt with straight away. That drone coming into play to push him off the angle. And obviously they didn't know he was there, but just to make sure no one can hold it. Now they push forward, dash onto site. Frey caught off by the Hunter's Fury, and CNED looking for a victim. It's Luzza on the backside. It's the op, and it's not looking the right way. A free kill for CNED as they look to get the site and plant that spike. It looks like that's what's going to come into play. Killez, not the killer in this situation. Autumn takes him down. This could be a tragic way to lose the round. The heal. Oh, Autumn, a 3k already. His ult now under threat. He's going to flash around and take the fight, but that's him dead for sure. The trade not even there. Bone Cold in with a triple, and the round is secured. Raise your edge. Get it at last. Really well played by Bone Cold. He continues to impress me.
Secured? I feel like more like gambled. Because this was a 5-3-3 three-man retake. Autumn got a kill that enabled his ultimate to go off. He was a little bit, like, let's say, too fast on pressing that X button, right? Unless he has using a different keybind. But he was out in the open. That allowed Bone Cold to get that pick. It's quite unfortunate that Sova didn't have full HP to get that trade then after Autumn gets killed. But it was such a valiant effort from Autumn. And Kyle's, oh my, that was a whiff. Like, I was really unlucky that he didn't get that kill on the Phoenix. But now new round, new beginnings. It's 6-1. Bone Cold with another kill. He's now wreaking havoc.
And the confidence in play for him, you saw it. He hears the op shot and he repeats it, goes for him on the hunt. And the hunt was successful. That's a headshot from RCK, but it was through the wall, so the player will just about survive. CNET making it to site where the spike is going down. A 5v3, a tough retake. You look at Rix, with all the utility going down, this just leaves them in a spot where they're essentially forced to play the retake. There was no way to deny that spike plant. And it's a pretty arduous task to make your way into this. I think saving is more or less the only option as time ticks away. And it looks like they're coming to the same conclusion. Yeah, there we go.
Although I have to double guess myself, sorry. Why didn't we see like any kind of utility being used from the Omen on the defensive side used before? No paranoia, no smokes being used as well. So he didn't cut off like the A lobby entrance from the push. I find that really surprising that we didn't see any kind of utility used for the defense. Maybe they didn't prepare like fast enough for the execute, right? It was blazing fast.
Yeah, it could have been caught off guard. Caught with their pants down. Not too much of a surprise if that's what happened, because the pace was definitely upped. Here's a pause. And I wonder, is this a pause for technical or tactical? To be honest, at this point, if Rix are calling a tactical pause, they have earned more than just my respect. Can't see the chat in the bottom left, but I think they'll use it as an opportunity either way. Because when you look at where Rix are at, they've lost 2 rounds in a row, and it's a tactical pause, confirmed. And the previous round was, oh, hello. Look at him in the little basket. But it was heartbreaking, really. You know, Raise Your Edge, they up the pace so much, they get in there, completely catch them off guard. And as you're saying, you know, there's lots of things they could have done to counter it that they just didn't. And this is where you need to take a step back and say, okay, things did not work out as we expected. We now need to fix that problem.
You know, I like it because this is Rix taking the tactical pulse. They know that the 2 rounds kind of happened very quickly in a succession. So they're making the pause. Also puts RYE, Raise Your Edge, into an uncomfortable spot when they actually have to cool down. They are not on a roll anymore, right? And this is also very important. But they go for that fast execute. They go uncontested on B. It's very similar to the pistol round right now. What is unfolding? There goes the paranoia. Blinds backside.
Look at Omen in the corner, sat on site. He's in the open. Once they push forward, he's in a little bit of trouble. CNED, good shot, but no full connection. There's the kill as he goes out for a little bit more. That recon dart, he puts the smoke on top of it, and that allows the peek to come out from Kill as really nicely done. That's something we've seen from CNED before, and with Autumn picking up a kill, there's no ultimate to play off of this time. No run it back to throw yourself at your enemies and try to make the win happen that way. Instead, it's going to be a tough push into the operator of CNET that just keeps on answering. And although Luzza grabs himself, he knows where Reyna is, but he's not going to get that kill. It's too tough to make happen in such a short time frame. And when that Reyna's staring right at you, 6-3. As RYE continue the streak, the pause evidently not slowing down momentum enough.
Yeah, and this is looking good. Way better for RYE. Remember, this is Ascent. It's a little bit defender based, I would say. But the problem is, RYE is playing Jett and Reyna. On defense, this is not going to be as effective as on attack, and they only got 3 rounds right now. They need to, like, point where they have gone 5-6 rounds.
Yeah, I think equally, though, Rix playing with a Phoenix and a Jett, the success that they're having on defense is pretty impressive at the moment. Obviously, Phoenix's utility, I feel like even on attack side, it gives you more value. The flashes, the way you can play off of smokes, the wall as a sort of budget version of Viper wall. It's a pretty good utility belt at times. But for RYE, their last 2 rounds have been very quick. They've been very pointed aggression. In this one, they're pulling back to check their behind, but there's no way they're moving away from the A site. They want this push, they want this site. And we've seen with weaker weapons them get in towards the site. We've seen a very good slow orb. The problem is if they do the same thing here, that slow orb that they throw over gives away that it's going to be a push towards A very quickly. And then they have to wait a while for it to land. So they don't want to do that. They want to push out, presumably when this smoke dissipates, or maybe even before. Utility coming over now, giving away their intentions. They're spotting a player behind, but they have no idea about Luzza, who's out there, but blinded by the eye. RCK, good for one, gets close, gets real close, up there, hugging his opponents, and it looks like he's going to get away with it as well for a 4K. My God, man. 7 on the board for Rix.
Lovely round. A really lovely round from Rix. Not sure if you paid attention to the minimap, but they were actually prepared for that. They play in a way that they don't allow their opponents to get on site and get a plant. 3 people are standing next to a site. 1 guy on heaven, one guy on site, 1 guy on the door. So they basically have control of the entire site and short by the 1 person next to the doorway. And at the same time, Omen is playing on mid, actually on spawn, to just get control of mid as well in case they're pushing there. So this is a very, very stacked A that just RYE is going into. So hard to execute on that side, even with all the utility being used.
I don't know how much time I'm going to have to make this point, but I'm going to try really quickly. I think the problem for RYE is the fact that they are consistently lacking a game plan. And we said this previously, but I really want to hammer it home. Because what we're seeing from these guys in that previous round, you're playing versus a Cypher. Look at the information Cypher has on the map. He sees there's no one B. He has all the info. They've got all mid clear coming into the last minute. Then they played super slow and went A. Like, that is not how you play around, because at that point you are running into a stack. Of course you are. Even right now, there's 3 players on A because of the info they had, and they lose mid. They just go to a 2-man B setup, which is perfectly fine to hold on as well, because I presume they still have paranoia. So what they need to do is start dealing with the utility, like the camera that's getting the info, posturing elsewhere, and making sure they're not running into stacks. But we're not seeing that, and I think that's where someone who's experienced as an IGL needs to come in. Like, CNED's a strong individual player, but you need more to back him up there, more experience on that roster, and I think they just lack it right now. As I'm finishing off that point, Killaz manages to grab Aquila and takes open the A site. Luzza dashes into heaven safely, but there's still a player just TP'd into wine. This is a problem. Planting that spike is going to be tough. They've dropped it. Now they need to plant it, now or never. All that has to be done is to deny it. Down they go. The knives in with a double. Luzza picking it up. He missed the planter, but it worked, and 8 rounds guaranteed at the end of the half with 1 more to fight for.
Look, he missed it, but he hit it.
Okay. It wasn't intentional, but it worked.
Yeah, but he got it. That was a nice double kill. But to touch on your point, it's actually pretty funny. I don't know if you saw my tweet like few months ago, 2 months ago, that I said that what I'm lacking in competitive play is to see a Sova that is using his shock darts not for lineups or post plant, but to destroy the utility from Cypher and Killjoy. And I feel like I kind of inspired Ever Jonas to just do that series of like, lineups for the Killjoy, Killjoy lockdown, for the Killjoy utility. And it's something that we don't see like in every single match. This is one of the examples. Like, as you said, destroying the utility from the Sentinel that is gathering info is crucial. This is why an example, an Aftershock of Breach comes into play as well. You can just destroy the turret or the camera with it.
We did see, I think, last week, and the thing is, it's so rare to get it observed because it's not like someone's about to take a fight, right? And you don't see shock darts on the map, and that's the problem, because you can't see like, oh, this dude's lining it up to take down utility. It's really hard to show people at home that, but we have seen some players do it, right? Like to take down a camera, for example, you shock dart one side of the wall, destroys it on the other, things like that. Or CK, come on, dude, they're already dead, you know, leave him alone. He's coming in with an Odin, he's being ulted on, rightfully so, but he's not going to be able to find anything for it. The recon dart, the wall bangs, it's a very powerful weapon, and it can be used on the retake. If there's even a retake, Luz has come in and shut down Killaz. One player they know to be stuck inside main. RCK's got Starzo. He doesn't even need a recon dart. Straight through the wall, he just pummels him, and 9-3. An insanely convincing half from Rix on their defensive side. And Lothar, you pointed out that, and I agree entirely, looking at this composition, this is not one that screams to you, it's okay, we're going to do better on the defensive side.
It's like wishing for something that's not going to happen, right? Unless they're going to play like they're on attack. Because that's what needed, right? You go aggressive. The Jet and Omen Reyna trio just pushes lanes, gets information, gets map control, gets like the kills when people are blinded. But how often can you do that? If you do that more than twice, your opponents will just be playing default then and just waiting for you. And you can't do that anymore. But like, let's focus on the pistol round. How does the attack look? How will they perform with this composition on the attack? They get the map control on mid. But look at this. The Reyna and Jet are pushing. This is what I said. They have to play aggressive on the defense.
Doing just that. Yeah, they've got the control outside of A. It's known to be a B hit. The problem is they can't get back in there in time. There's Sova locked off by a smoke. Now there's just one player backside. It's your Sage. Fry, look at this on mid. There's a nice shot. The flick over. No kill. Reyna comes in to presumably save the day, and he's only good for 1. But meanwhile, they've lost the B side. Spike plant goes down, and it's just the 2 duelists left to try and make this work. They have no idea where their opponents are. Autumn takes a head peek angle. Hot hands down to delay the push, and he's just going to play nice and comfy down in B main. Let's raise your edge, look to push back out. They've lost the information, and they've certainly lost the info battle because now their positions are known. Luza up close with a frenzy, catches it. His teammate taking, I love this setup, man. His teammates are taking the fight, and then he's ready. When that guy runs out of ammo and has to reload, that's when Luza comes in with a frenzy. It didn't happen there, but that's the whole idea. Absolutely gorgeous and clean play, and with Rix now taking both pistols, things aren't looking good.
I mean, there's no way you can win a 1 versus 3 like that. That was a very good crossfire setup. You don't have enough ammo. I really love the play by Autumn. He played his hot hands to, like, let's say, with 2 things in mind. First of all, your opponent cannot push through it, right? It has a high DPS. But at the same time, it allowed him to change his position because he can go into it. So he faked, I mean, he didn't fake. He went to the other side, made the steps, while Jet took his place and didn't make any single sound. And then he also faked that someone is like trying to shoot through the smoke and get the control of that.
Good stuff by Fry to start this one off. He's, well, not getting control of A because he did die, but he got 2 at least along the way. Nice little spray down. And we'll pretend we didn't see that, Autumn. It's okay. He's experimenting. He's trying new things. But he's left Jet super low. Nice headshot. Ult available. but with low HP, it's not likely to be popped here. And the Sheriff on that range would be just as good, really. Just the rate of fire that's the problem. But with your low HP, you'll only get one shot or one knife off anyways. 11-3. And an expected scoreline after the pistol and how it went down. Problem is, they can only afford to lose 2 more rounds now on Raise Your Edge. And I think out of the last 20, they've lost more than 2. They've won maybe 5 out of the last 20 rounds.
Yeah, this was really problematic. Like, I feel like what is Raise Your Edge is currently lacking is in mid control as well. Like, on pistol round, it was very obvious that they lost the round because they had no...
He legged him!
No idea.
He legged him! He was full blind running, and he legged Luzza, who was jumping, I'm pretty sure. If Luzza didn't jump, that would have been a kill. That would be just stupid. But that's RNG for you. Oh, he just got so lucky. Sorry to cut you off, Logan. That genuinely surprised the hell out of me.
That happened.
Well, the door is up, so it's open. Clean for business if the guys want to shoot on through, as you saw them doing. And the thing is, at the moment, 5v2, I don't want to see them take fights. I want to see them tuck in. RCK's managed... Oh, he's dead. He's dead on that crossover, surely. There we go. They finish him off. Just pushing through. Fry's got an ace. It's not going to happen. He grabs himself a double. It's something. It's some sort of consolation, but at the end of the day, it's not going to happen. That leg, though, oh my god. I just saw him on 1 HP, and I'm like, no way he just hit that, man.
Well, there's a small chance for Raise Your Edge Gaming right now. There's the light at the end of the tunnel, right? They need to win this round. This is the most important one. And what I liked from Riggs is that they are not actually paying like the full cash for this round. They're actually playing a bonus round. And this is very important because if they fully commit and they allow to Raise Your Edge the chain wins, it doesn't really like put you in a winning spot. But if they play a bonus round right now and get some kills, destroy the economy, they have a higher chance of destroying the economy from Raise Your Edge by just not allowing to chain rounds. This is such a cool play.
One of the most threatening parts of B is main, right? If you lose that control, they can blitz you on the site in a matter of seconds. And we saw Rix deal with it by having Cypher Cam, right? No risk. You get the free information. You can check it from anywhere. They don't have the same luxury on Raise Your Edge, so they push forward. They need that information if the push is coming through. Luzza going all the way to spawn. He's around the back of the side already. Recon Dark going to see him. He's taken down by Starzo. The rest of the team, though, they faked it out. They're on their way towards the A side. RCK on his way over there as well. Still with a Recon Dart to play with. It comes down to Autumn. If he... Oh, hold on. Another here, actually. Fry has managed to get a kill. Now they've spotted the player, but Autumn already dealt with him. A side's completely open for business. This is insane. It was an eco. It should be one where Rix just gets smacked out and we move on to the next, but Raise Your Edge, caught with their pants down, have given away an operator. They've given a man advantage. There's a Phoenix ult and a Hunter's Fury to play against, and they have no ults of their own. This is tragic and so difficult to get back into this round, but they need to. They can't allow 11 to turn into 12 and a win to turn into an overtime at best. This is Raise Your Edge going in for the retake, and if they lose, they quite likely lose the map. But they're winning the duels. It's a 2v1. Hunter's Fury, though, gonna be the main problem. There they go. They tapped the defuse and one shot going in for the second. He's delaying it, and he's not gonna get the kill. They've defused it. What? RCK, he ran so far away with fears of being pushed, but instead... he loses the round. Good move to stick it halfway, and had either of those players been half HP, it was over. But they weren't. And they just about managed to recover a round that looked surely lost.
Cold-blooded decision by Raise Your Edge here to just get that half defuse. It was crucial. They were running out of time. If both players were below 80 HP or exactly 80 HP, this would have been lost. But fortunately, the first player to defuse the bomb could have got 2 hits and get that half of it. So that was crucial. But at the same time, something I mentioned, this round was a throwaway round. They wanted to damage the economy.
And it's not just that, right? I think the idea was that he was worried about somebody put like the... Oh, we need to break that down. We need a video on that one because it was just so big brain, right? You presume at this round that's gone to hell and Raise Your Edge just dominated it, but in that clutch situation, you pop the Hunter's Fury. He's presuming that the second player will push him. that they'll think, oh, he's in the open in B main or A main, I can just peek him and kill him. But no, he'd gone back further. They made that read. They made that call. And that's a scary call to make, because if he was close, he would drop that Hunter's Fury, he would peek, and he would win the round, undoubtedly. So, gamble is definitely how that round transpired. A 3v4 that they end up coming out on top in. And now they've got chained together a second one, 11-6. Again, Lothar, you said it, right? Light at the end of the tunnel. The question is that the way out? Or is that a train?
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to make that joke. Anyway, but there's actually that hope, like right now, just somewhere there, because it's still a very long way. Oh no, he's gonna get pushed.
Oh, he's missed. So you 4 players there. That's the unluckiest push I've ever seen. Starzo pops the wall, drops back immediately. He realizes the risk does not meet the reward. But does he? Does he realize that? Because he sat inside the smoke up close. Versus pistols here. This is a dangerous game to be playing. Luckily backs off before the smoke dissipates. Otherwise, I think we'd have to get his head examined. The advantage.
He's going for the ultimate. He was given a gun. He's gonna go for it. Unfortunately, Frey doesn't get the lurk.
Yeah, at this point, you lose your lurker. Maybe you don't go for the ult. I think you don't need to risk it exactly, and there you go. He was dead on the first peek. Didn't need a second. Out goes the Paranoia. Shock darts trying to do some damage, in fact get a kill, but it's a classic in the hands of RCK. In with a second, a third. RCK brings it to a 1v2, but Latex, unfortunately, without that Vandal, they couldn't get it done. That was so close, though.
If Frey wouldn't have died on market, this round would have been completely different. But at the same time, I'm 100% with you on that point. You don't use the ultimate if you know that you lost your lurker, because then they're not gonna go in basically for free frags for your Cypher, right? Because they're gonna fall back from the ultimate or just ultimately push, and this allows your Cypher to get those backstabs. So he pushed with that Vandal. If he gets one kill, then he pops the ultimate. But then that failed again. They still brought it back, like 1 versus 2. That was actually pretty cool. Now the classic just outplayed everyone with the right clicks. So pretty good.
I mean, this is starting to heat up a little bit in this game. It's not the one-sided one we thought. I guess in a way that's on us, isn't it? Because the first map was exactly the same, 9-3, and then it's hella close. But I didn't think it was going to happen here. Raise Your Edge with an extremely, let's use the word unique for now, an extremely unique composition that seems to be working for them on the defensive side. But we did talk about how the key point of this is aggression. It's getting that information with your players, not with utility. With that is added risk, but I guess when you've got someone like CNED on your team, you're going to be comfortable in doing that. Although it's not CNED. In fact, he's the most passive almost of the lot. It's bone cold. He bossed it. He's pushing forward.
I feel like Rix is actually playing against what Razor Edge gaming has to do very well, because they play default. They know that Razor Edge needs to gather information by just like wandering around the map. They have no utility for that. And if the Sage uses the wall early on, if they bait out the slows, basically she's useless, right? There's no constant threats, but CNED gets just dry picked and gets a pick. That shouldn't happen.
So he's gone in for more. He's looking for a little bit extra, but unfortunately it's not happening for him. Killaz uses the dismiss to just get on out of there, and another kill as Autumn's caught. Well handled by Raise Your Edge. CNED with the double. The Paranoia as well that we saw just about get thrown before Bone Cold fell. The fact that he got it out meant that they couldn't effectively trade CNED up in heaven, and that's what gave him the confidence to go out for a second kill, ultimately getting them the round.
Yeah, this was pretty awkward, not gonna lie. I'm wondering, why did we see Frey just dry peek that, right? No information here. Did he have the camera? I didn't actually see it being used, but maybe it was used. But if he gets it in, if he would use that camera, he gets the info on CNED's position, then he doesn't dry peek that.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, Paranoia, again. It's going to catch them. It caught all of them, but they're close enough, so Autumn takes him down. The site overrun. Raise Your Edge struggle to have any sort of resistance on it. Now have to play for a post plant yet again, a difficult one at that. The updrafts here from Jet, the knives going out, but they don't find their targets, at least not for the kill. The one player that is low has popped his ultimate, and it's run it back. Phoenix pushing through the doorway, looking for the kill up close. Starzo headshot while jumping. That has saved his life. However, the Phoenix is now fully healed back up. RCK spotted playing the post plant. He had his Hunter's Fury, but no longer. Now a 2 versus 4. Drop down. CNED caught on the side. Luzza in with a double, but he's got so much more to do. All these players all over the site. The res popped and the defuse. Stuck as it was. Luzza makes a damn good effort of it, but in the end, it's not enough. 9 on the board. Raise your edge and retakes on the A side. Just seemed to be unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, this was pretty cool, not gonna lie. It didn't seem that way the entire game, right? We have seen Raise Your Edge being very hectic, very chaotic, not organized on the attack sides on both Bind and Ascent. But here, on the retakes, they actually played it really well. But I have to point out that Starzo headshot while jumping on the Phoenix ult on Run It Back. If that didn't happen, we might have seen a very different round.
Oh, they lose. They lose the round because they lose Starzo, they lose the ability to push through door, and they lose the res, which they ended up using to save the round. If they didn't have the res, even if everything else unfolded as it did, you don't have anybody sticking the spike. You have a 1v1 that Luzza just swings and wins, apparently. So, yeah, I think if that jumping headshot doesn't land, the round is lost. It's these small things, huh? Like, these retakes have relied on big plays. I think the other one, they got a falling, at least shot landed on the player in Hell last time that they retook A in like a 3v4, I think.
Wait, how did he die?
Where was that?
Yeah, I'm watching the minimap. Wait, that was
That's
on
Spike.
Through the box, through the crate. He might have been jumping. You know how you do it, right? You just jump over the box, gather info, but CNED was just trying to get
Cina's going. Cina's going. Why is he going? Why? They want to push mid, but the Sova hadn't even pushed out yet. There's a double now for Latex. Huge play. But it's back to a 2v2. They were pushing elsewhere, even despite all this info and map presence that they were getting. Now you've got Latex left alone. I mean, he's slowed there in the backside. And they think that, oh God, no, they think that what's happening is happening. Latex might think that he's been like undetected or something. The leading Fry straight into a trap. The Sage is already pushed all the way through, but no! Oh, another one. Another victim of the knife. They're going to spot out Omen. They know exactly where he is, and a rush to the site will get a spike plant. Now, the ultimate in play goes to Spawn. He's probably going to commit to that because he's so far away otherwise. The problem is they'll now anticipate that. Either way, a 2v1. We should watch the defender Omen as he pushes forward and looks to take this 1 versus 2. I don't know how he's going to approach it, and coming down the alley, bone cold. The man himself. Paranoia doesn't actually land. He's given away his position. They're looking at him. They're staring at him. And Latex takes him down. The death stare and the headshot. 12-9. 3 chances to close this out for Rix and confirm their spot in the main event.
You mentioned that train, you know, being the light at the end of the tunnel, and I feel like CNED and Starzo got hit by that train right now. Because they've inted this round. Like, this was so necessary. Getting it first. CNED actually got a first blood on top mid. Through the box. That was such an impactful kill. It set up pace of the entire round. Rix had to like slow it down, play more default, try to get kills, and it exactly happened. On the mid, CNED just pushed, gets killed. Then the guy from A-Short has to peek, get that trade, but he loses the battle, and suddenly from 5v4 it goes
Don't go through with an op.
3v4.
Oh my God, I thought he was going to push a cage with an op. Like, the barrel length on that kills you instantly. Instead, he waits and gets the kill afterwards. Well handled by CNED. He just gave me a heart attack. Like, he literally touched the op off the edge of the cage there. Gave it a little tickle, but he's out of there. Up on top of the wall now. This is an anticipated play if ever I've seen one. But he drops down. The wise play. Don't want to get isolated here. CNED looking for more magic on that shot down. Bone Cold takes down Latex. Another impactful kill. It stops any mid-split and kind of isolates the Spike, who is now all by himself. They want to break that wall open, and they'll succeed. But the problem is that it's being held so close by Raise Your Edge, they're not worried about somebody sneaking through there. Misinformation isn't really going to be possible. They hope that someone pushes and gets over aggressive, as Raise Your Edge have in the past. This time, though, that's not going to be the case. And you can see, it's actually, I was hinting more that that's what Phoenix is doing, but they're doing the exact same on short. They really want someone to overpeak.
Yeah,
and I don't blame them.
There's no other way, and Sox did overpeak, but then he gets traded by Coldamenta, so... Oh,
Causes the rotate, though. Now they come into the A site. All they have to do is deal with Reyna. Killaz gets one, dismisses. Information is his. He knows the player is on the site, and he'll just run at him now. All he has to do is run straight at this dude and get the kill. Easy peasy, because if he stops planting, then he stops planting. You know, your teammates are going to be there in a second. It's all good, and you've pretty much won the round. And if he plants, well, then he's going to be caught with his weapon out. So perfectly played by Killaz.
yeah. Even if he wouldn't have killed him, there was not enough time to plant then, so it's a round 1. So good decision. I really like how Rix tried to approach the round, because if you're at a huge disadvantage, 3 versus 5, right? You need to play as slow as possible, just get some kills, gather some map control, because your opponent plays too over aggressively. And that's something that we, in general, hinted that Raise Your Edge has to do. But when you have an advantage, you don't have to do that anymore. So this is why I was so baffled at that Zenith peak in the mid 2 rounds ago. But fortunately this time, even when Starkso got killed by Autumn in Garage B, they had a trade prepared. So it was not, you know, to an extent, it wasn't an aggressive like solo peak.
Ooh. Oh, they know where he was popping his drone from. That's a bit dangerous. Taken down and a double as well. Bone Cold in with the kill. This is tragic at this point. A 5 versus 3 emerges. Raise Your Edge. Dominating right at the start of the round. Autumn in with 1, but does it inspire enough hope? Do we think he's got what it takes to bring it further? And no, doesn't even retrieve the rifle, and that's the spike dropped out in the open, walled off and sealed. This round should be, well, just as locked off as those attackers are from the spike. Look at the angles being held right now. Spawn is being watched. You have Jet, well, both spawns are being watched. Jet watching down towards top mid, and then if the player is seen in the other spawn, he just turns around and there's an off looking at him, and then there's a wall blocking off this push. This has to be absolutely huge. We should watch Jet here, because with those knives out, maybe, just maybe, this is the big play being made. Out he goes, sees one, right click, not gonna land, and that's it. Done and dusted.
In this round, like, you have to go for that attack. You were half buying this round anyway to have full cash for the next round, so there's no point in saving anything, and destroying the economy also doesn't matter because your opponent is chaining rounds. So the only way of playing that round is trying to win. And that's what I tried, but it's such a hard setup to do. When your opponent's just holding every single angle, they are prepared for trades. So it's, even if it's a 2 versus 2, then you still have a 2 versus 2 after pause plant. It's tough, but they had to do it, so no question asked here. And now they're going, oh, look at that. 4 people in front of Garage B. We didn't see that before. Destroying the drone. Not much info gathered because the recon arrow wasn't used yet. Now it's being used, but did it get any tags?
Oh, they've seen the barrel. They know the player's there. That's a free kill on Loza, who's now scratching his head thinking, how did they get me? Wall goes up, but the push from Phoenix won't be stopped until a bullet hits. And that's again going to be CNET doing it. Starzo dodges out of the way, and that molly so well placed. By who?
That was Phoenix.
By Phoenix. He just cancelled.
Damaged his Sova.
What?
Oh no.
Autumn.
You know what's funny? Sova could have just jumped and ult mid-air, and he would have been high enough to not get damaged by it.
I guess you're not going to think about it. You're going to kind of be like, why am I on fire? What? Like, they don't have molly. Like I said, the molly well placed. Then I'm like, wait, do they have a molly? Did I miss something? That's true. I don't know what caused that.
I literally wanted to say the same.
He just healed as well. Oh! That makes up for it, Autumn. It's okay. We forgive you, man. But they have a res. Sage is going to be on her way to that location. They're going to res him back up 5v4. Rix need to make a decision, and knowing the res is in play, that decision usually would be to go B, but they're going to focus on that fight and try to eliminate the resed up player. It doesn't give them anything, though. At 3 versus 4, low HP, 10 seconds left to get on the site. There's a couple of kills going their way, but Latex can't possibly get this done, right? Oh, the door! No! He's locked out of the round, literally 12 to 12. We are going to overtime.
You would have fit
sides. Overtime.
under the door.
Did you say he would have fit or I would have fit?
You would have fit.
Screw you, Lothar.
Hey, I'm allowed, with my contract, I'm allowed to make one joke.
One joke per day. I know. You've saved it for a good time, okay? I'll give that to you. God damn it.
But yeah, I 100% agree with you. That kill through the smoke, I feel like that was the moment when you have to push that B. You have to push that B because, you know, Sage is playing typically on B. She has to rotate to get that res, and it's worth it, right? Because it's the last round, they have to use it. So then you have a chance of actually just getting a free control of B planting and have a 4v5 toss plant situation. But they wanted to like double down on it. Maybe there was not enough time to like make that call. It's kind of hard to say, but now we have that 12-12 overtime, and CNED, you know, think about it, CNED is actually in a worse position. He is AWPing, but this time he is only on 100 HP. And this is not a good thing to be at, you know?
Straight away, we see Killaz go towards the B site and destroy that camera. It seems like RYE realized one of the big mistakes that they made previously. Now, keeping those two players on the B site, the problem is a weird decision from Rix. They're leaving mid completely open, but that's something that could pay serious dividends here. Because as they leave mid open, they have 3 players on A, which RYE were looking to push, but they've changed their mind. Up towards the top of mid we go. Caught off, though, and spotted. Now they know this is going to be a B take, but they can't get there in time. The remaining defenders on their way. They're rustling, they're hustling. Well, raise your edge. They need to force this fight. There we go. Fairly quickly. This is a setup we've seen before, but it's no! What? Frey comes in with a double, at least recovers on what was a terrible position, and now on the back of the site, he's the thorn in the side. Rain is spotted, and that causes them to stop planting. CNED deals with him, but in comes Luzza. He's looking for a kill with that operator in hand, waiting for the planter to peek out wide. Shot missed though. Phoenix on his way as well with a player in B main. That's an easy kill. Side swiped and dealt with. Raise your edge. 13-12. They're not giving up yet.
Autumn was a little bit, unfortunately, late on this position. He didn't support Luzu in that retake scenario. Unfortunately, also Luzu missed 2 crucial shots. Him hitting that shot on CNED on side was the most crucial aspect of this retake, and he had actually an opportunity to do that. So that's quite unfortunate, but still, Frey kind of bailed them out from this round because it opened up by Starkso having a nasty shot. Nasty, absolutely nasty shot on Bone Cold on side, and that opened a lot of possibilities of planting. But now, look at that, super quick execute, no time to talk, but CNED with the opening kill! He's already grabbed one. Looks for more. The drone above doesn't deter him, and maybe it should. Immediate trade by Autumn. A round needed by Rix to avoid a map 3 and a potential loss in the series on the back of it. Autumn dealt with immediately. Bone Cold underneath and double peak solo. 14-12. We close that one out. Raise your edge. They got reverse swept in the previous map, and this